First, you need to remove your grips and any old dropper post you may have on your bike. Next, loosen up the mount and slide the dropper post trigger onto your bar and tighten loosely. Make sure it's easy to get to the bleed port and remove the hose. Inside the hose, there's a barb that needs to be removed. This is with a Torx wrench that's included with the kit. A little tool is included to help screw the barb back into the hydraulic hose. There's also a plastic clip to help with the cable management. Kit also comes with the Torx wrench to install the barb into the hose. There's a close-up of the barb on the Torx wrench. Next, prepare the hose by removing the rubber cover and nut so that you can feed it through the bike frame if it's internal cable housing. Also remove any stickers that may get caught. The nut only comes off one end. Fish the cable housing through the bike. On this Bronson, the cable housing only goes through the seat tube and out the bottom, and then runs along the outside of the frame. Next, screw on the dropper post. Tighten that down. You may want to install your seat collar before this if it doesn't have a gap. Once you have the seat collar on, you can install the seat post. Then you're going to prepare the other end to attach to the trigger. I'm going to loosely attach it to the bike frame just so it's easier to work with. Also, you're going to be cutting the hose, so be sure to extend your seat post to the max height so that you have extra play to adjust the seat. Run the cable through the frame. You'll want to turn the bars side to side to make sure that there is no binding or pulling of the cable housing. Mark the cable where you need to cut it and snip off the excess. This may pinch the cable housing. Next, put on the nut and rubber cover. Then you'll be installing the barb on the end. This screws into place. Once it's attached to the hose, insert it into the trigger. Then use the nut to tighten it down. This end of the bleed system uses a normal screw-in bleed port. Up by the trigger uses a quick system by RockShox. This just pops in and out. There's a screw inside that needs to be loosened. Fill the syringe with this provided oil. Get out any air bubbles you can. This pops right in to the trigger. You'll feel a click when it does. Now it's time to push fluid through the system. Make sure that there's no fluid leaking out the sides, or you may not have it attached correctly. You'll begin to see fluid start to rise from the other side. The goal in doing this is to fill the complete system, the hose, with oil and remove any air possible. So I'm tapping the cable here, trying to get out any air bubbles that may be stuck to the sidewalls of the cable housing. Now I'm pushing fluid back and forth, trying to release any additional air that may remain in the system. Once I feel like I've gotten the air from the dropper post side out for the most part, I'll close that end of the system and install the screw back in. The dropper post side of the system will be sealed off now, so we'll try to remove the remaining air bubbles from the trigger side. I do this by pushing in and pulling up to create a vacuum. You'll see a few bubbles rise there as I pull back slightly. I'll do this a few times until I don't see those air bubbles coming up anymore. I'll also continue to tap the system to try to free up any additional air. Once you've cleaned up the system, you can install the dropper post. Because you've moved the dropper post and the hose again, check one last time for air bubbles, and then remove the syringe. You need to tighten up that screw to close the system. That screw does remain in there while you're bleeding the system. Then clean up any excess oil from the bleed. Then move the rubber plug back into place and push it into the holes. You can then tighten up the trigger in a comfortable position and test out the system. The new Reverb Stealth C1 comes with a vent valve. This is used to resolve the issue with older models of the Reverb Stealth that got saggy or spongy over time. To access the port, you need to remove the top of the seat post to use the tool. What this does is allows the oil and air to return to the correct chambers. To use it, you install it on top of the dropper post when it's in an extended position and simply push down. This will allow the air and oil into the correct chambers. You'll feel it move just a quarter of an inch and you'll know that the procedure is done and you can install your seat. If you're ever riding and feel that your Reverb seat post gets a little spongy at the top, you can always use that valve tool to fix the issue. After that, you're just going to install your seat and you're ready to ride. If you enjoy this kind of content, instructions on outdoor gear and product reviews, be sure to subscribe to the channel. If you're looking for deals on outdoor gear, check out GearChase.com. We search hundreds of online retailers for deals and products and comparisons on outdoor gear.